theatre is a form of drama and method of presentation developed in Germany in 1920s. Piscator was the founder and director of this influential period, and that was the name which was given by him. It originated in the New Objectivity period. Okay. So this is the period in which in Berlin, and the term was first used of the early plays of Bronwyn, and particularly Vatermord. Okay, that means patricide, and in Fenner. So these are the two plays for which this was used, but this term largely got associated with Bertolt Brecht. Epic theatre was a break with established dramatic styles. So Brecht writes that essential point of epic theatre is that it appeals less to the spectator's feelings than to its reason. So basically, it affects the reason. So we are going back to rationality, but like I'm just giving you this thought that this rationality is very different from the rationality of the Enlightenment period. Okay, so this rationality is not about a universal identification, but this is a rationality about individuals who are aware of their unconscious as well. So this is a different rationality that we are moving from, that is very different from the 18th century rationality. So the techniques which are used in epic theatre, they are gestures, that is combination of gesture and gist. So when the artists, they used to perform, they used to use gesture and gist. What is going to happen together? So there won't the theater, which the spectacle that they will form, the set that they will form, the gesture that they will use, they will be very unrealistic. Okay. So in terms of showing that they are driving or something like that, what is their plan? So that will be reflected through gesture and gist together. So there will be a combination of both. That is the term that Brecht talks about, that is gestures. That is very important when we talk about epic theatre. The other term, that is alienation effect or estrangement effect, okay, which is called Verfremdungseffekt. V is pronounced as Ver in in German. So it is Verfremdungseffekt, which is also called estrangement effect or alienation effect, which Brecht talks about. So why this effect is necessary and why does he talk about it? This is essentially anti-Aristotelian, and when Aristotle is looking at catharsis, when he's looking at engagement of the audience, all of you are aware of the idea of catharsis, that it actually brings in fear and pity in the minds of audience, because the audience gets emotionally attached with the tragic hero. The audience gets emotionally attached with what is going on stage. So there is an estrangement effect that he wants at its place, because he wants the audience not to be emotionally attached to it. Rather, he wants the audience to be rationally attached to the theater. So this is very non-realistic and scenic device which are used. So scenic device which is there and it is very non-realistic. I'll give you an example of the Good Woman of the Sergeant, which is by Bertolt Brecht. Bertolt Brecht actually is known for his epic theatre. He's known for bringing in the alienation effect. He's also known for bringing in certain issues like the issues of women and other things, onto stage, which were not talked about earlier. Although there are many people who say that Brecht himself was not like very kind to the fellow women who were working with him, and many stories which he had written, it is also a saying that was written by the women artists, and he does not give them due acknowledgement. But nevertheless, when it comes to the final product that we have, whoever's name is there, we see that women characters are there. In The Good Woman of Shezwa, which is by Brecht, we have three visiting gods who come to this city who are looking for a good human being in that place, and they are unable to find anybody. And there is Shente, who is a young prostitute who is into this prostitution profession because she's very poor. Because of poverty, she gets into this profession, and she is the only good human that is left. So gods were looking for good human, but they fail, and only then at the end they find Shente. So Shente is rewarded by the visiting gods, and they give her a lot of money or whatever, gold coins. So she tries to help the poor and needy, but is taken advantage of by her neighbors and a lover. So when she is when she has that money, she tries to open a shop, and she tries to help needy people, poor people, and her business grows. But then her neighbors, and there is one lover of her who comes and makes her pregnant, and then he goes away. There are neighbors who are always disturbing her. So here we see that that she is very disturbed by it. So what she does is that she disguises as Shuita, and a man whose characters are completely opposite of the characters of Shente. So this Shuita is a man, and he is very rough, very rude, very unkind, just the opposite of Shente. So there is, because of these two characters, which is played by a single character, so the audience is very like, the audience cannot decide, their take, whether to take her as a man or as a woman. So the audience is never given that opportunity to establish any kind of a relation with the character. Okay, so this is used as a dialectical device to create created through Shuita and Shente to reflect that it is difficult to be good in this cruel world. So at the end, actually, that is established that when she is a man and rude man, only then she could flourish and survive. And when she was a good human being, when she was a good woman, people were always against her. So at the end, she had to reveal it, and she gets again, similar to the theater of cruelty, she also gets punished for this goodness. So we see that alienation effect is used through the set which is used in Good Woman of Shezwa, and also through the gestures that we talk about, and also through the use of the space and through the use of dialectical device where the audience is alienated from the text.